Django Fett on the job.
Hey guys, I'm Django Fett, hunting down games, comics, TV shows, movies, and more. And finally, I get to review my favorite Star Wars comic book series of all time. So I will be reviewing the series as they first came out and were published. So the very first story is called Knights of the Old Republic. This story is set 4,000 years ago before the Battle of Yavin, and way before the events of the video game. And this comic is unrelated to the video game. This video game was inspired by the comic series. So I also want to mention that this paperback came out in 1994. And this volume consists of two different stories. One of the stories is about Ulic Qel-Dromo and his fellow Jedi go to Onderon, and the second is about Nomi Sunrider. And the rest of the series from after this volume is going to be focused on one storyline, but with many different amazing characters. Anyway, let's just jump into this. The first story is Ulic Qel-Dromo and the Beast Wars of Onderon. So this story stars three Jedi Knights, Ulic Qel-Droma and his brother Cade Qel-Droma, as well as a Twi'lek Jedi Toth Donata, as they are told a story of the planet Onderon by their Jedi Master Arca-Jeth. As they're told this story of Onderon, they are going to be sent to this world to establish peace. And this story is absolutely amazing and my favorite part of this volume. And from this point on, you know this series can get very violent and bloody and edgy and such a different take on Star Wars. I love this dark take on the Star Wars universe, something I've never seen ever before, and it's awesome. Also, a lot of events mentioned from Coder 1 and 2 are in the Tales of the Jedi series. Heard of, the Sith War and the Beast Wars of Onderon from the games. Read this series. I also love this gritty, edgy 90s art style, and it feels violent, and the artists will be around in the Tales of the Jedi series throughout the series. Now, the second story is called The Saga of Nomi Sunrider, and stars, you guessed it, Nomi Sunrider. And Nomi would become an expert in Jedi battle meditation, and Nomi starts off as a wife to a Jedi Knight named Ander Sunrider, and I have to spoil this because you're not gonna know how Nomi becomes a Jedi, but as her and her husband are, traveling, they get to a station and get threatened. Then a small animal comes and bites Ander in the throat and he dies. Yeah, the so-called Jedi Knight dies. This has to be one of the most embarrassing deaths for a Jedi ever. This guy is a Jedi Knight and he died by a rat. Are you kidding me? Somehow this moron is a Jedi. Anyway, he gets killed, Nomi fends off the criminals, and she finds out she has, a Force connection and finds this stone Jedi Master that Ander was looking for to be trained by. And Nomi finds out she is Force sensitive and found to be more powerful than her husband. And I won't spoil anything more, but Thawne is a really interesting Jedi Master, four-legged animal beast, and eventually you find out he is the Jedi Master that Nomi was looking for. So Nomi gets taught by him. I wasn't a huge fan of this story, but as I read it a second time, there are some elements that I really loved about this because of the fact that the stories that Thawne teaches, or I should say the holocron that they show elements of beings with the Force and using the dark side. And it was so cool. I loved that. That was really cool seeing the past of seeing, wizards and warriors use the dark side. It's really dark and foreboding. I love that. Anytime seeing the past of how the Force starts, where it came from, I love. It's just a really cool take on the Force history and the history of the Jedi. And then Nomi later on, she has to fend off criminals, which I didn't find as fascinating, but I just found some elements of the story pretty cool, like the Jedi holocron. And that is Tales of the Jedi Knights of the Republic. Don't get it confused with the video game, which was inspired by the comics. So now I'm gonna rate this volume, the very first story of the Tales of the Jedi series, and I'm gonna give Tales of the Jedi Knights of the Republic A. Not the best stories in the Tales of the Jedi series, but the Beast Wars of Onderon is a must read, definitely. It's just amazing, absolutely amazing. And it definitely sets up events for the Freedom Uprising, which is Volume 2. And the Nomi Sunrider story, I thought it was okay. I didn't like the story behind the criminals who were gonna fight Nomi Sunrider. I didn't think it was that good. And I wanted more of a focus on Nomi. And I love the part about the Force Holocron. That was great. So this is a great start to the Tales of the Jedi series, and I highly recommend it. So my next review will be the Freedom Uprising. It's going to be a really short review. It's only 2 issues, which is like nothing. So I will be spoiling events from the Beast Wars of Onderon so you guys can understand what the Freedom Uprising is all about. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and please like and comment down below. Tell me your guys' thoughts of this review, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Django Fett. And as always, I will end with a comic book cover slideshow of all the issues featured in this volume. So until then, guys, I will see you guys on the next comic review. Peace.